Okay, today we are going to talk about organization again. We talked about making a list, putting the list of details into different categories and how that would work. And now we are going to talk about adding logical transitions to your writing. So the first thing we want to focus on is I can create transitions within paragraphs. So within a paragraph, we're going to have transitions between sentences. So transitions connect ideas. They also reveal how ideas within a sentence are related. Just like a road signs let drivers know what to expect. Transitions let readers know what to expect. When done well, transitions move readers through a smooth journey of ideas. I think maybe all of you have read something that's not so smooth and it's real choppy and doesn't make a whole lot of sense. We want our writing to make sense and smooth and flow very well. So you have a note page for your digital notebook that has the different kinds of transitions. You want to use a purposeful transition. I think we all know we're all guilty of using the same transitions. First, next, last, and then, and so, blah, 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 blah. So boring. There are so many kinds of transitions. There are transitions to show sequence. There are transitions to show an illustration, like, for example, we can contrast using words like unlike or instead, rather. We can compare, saying things like similar, together, identically. We can use addition words also, again, as well as. We can generalize, generally, ordinarily, usually. We can show emphasis with transitions by using words like above all or specifically. We can show exception by using words like beside, except, other than. We can show a cause and an effect relationship, since, in order to, so, caused by, because of. We can show a consequence, as a result, otherwise, therefore. We can also do a restatement. So if we want to say something in another way, we can say, in essence, or in other words, to put it differently, or we can summarize. After all things considered, to sum up. I think you get the point. I gave you a note page with all of these transitions for you to reference so that you can use them in your writing, and you can use them today in this lesson also. So, creating transitions within paragraphs. You will notice in this writing there are some words in red. These are the transition words, and they use them purposefully for all those reasons we just talked about. Compare, contrast, summarize, whatever it may be. That's what these words are doing in this passage. So you can read this yourself. You can pause the video. I'm not going to read the whole thing, but I will read a little bit. Babysitting is a way to make extra money if you don't want to work at a fast food restaurant. However, it can be a real pain, literally. So it's saying it's a good thing, but it could also be a bad thing. Kids can kick and bite, babies make big messes, and older kids can throw a fit. For many reasons, babysitting can be a hard way to make a few bucks. We're transitioning to a new paragraph. For one reason, not all kids like having a babysitter. Kids sometimes get upset just because their parents are leaving. Consequently, they might act up on purpose, causing all kinds of problems. So it's talking about kids might get upset because their parents are leaving, and because of that, they might act up on purpose. Kids can get mad, break things, or refuse to eat. In other words, they can make the whole night long and miserable. So another way of saying those things is they're making the whole night miserable for you. Okay? Notice there's a transition with each new paragraph as well. Besides how hard it is, babysitting can be frustrating. If something fun pops up, like a party or a date, after you've already agreed to babysit, then you have to say no. Who wants to spend 3 hours with a rugrat when she could be hanging out with friends? So look at all of these transition words. So instead of having fun, okay, moreover, there's the possibility of large families. Babysitting is especially hard. That's emphasis. For example, the babysitter may tell them to go to their rooms. At the end, it says, all things considered, babysitting can be a nightmare. You better really want to make some extra money to choose it as your part-time job. All of those transitions are revealing unique relationships between ideas in this passage. Okay, so the key to determining how ideas are related. So we have two sentences here. One of them says Sam was on edge and didn't want to sit down. The other one says Joseph stood with his hands tucked in his pockets waiting. So how are these two things related? Are they similar? Are they different? Is Sam's behavior similar to Joseph's behavior? Sam's on edge. He didn't want to sit down. Joseph stood with his hands tucked in his pockets waiting. So Joseph seems more relaxed. He's just waiting. Sam is more on edge. So this is a contrast relationship between these two things. So we can use, on the other hand, Sam was on edge and didn't want to sit down. On the other hand, Joseph stood with his hands tucked in his pockets waiting. That sounds a whole lot better than just jamming those two sentences together in a paragraph. Now you're going to practice a few. Babe Ruth was a great baseball player who excelled at both pitching and batting. He was remembered for his ability to slug big home runs out of the ballpark. Right now, you need to go to your transition note page, pick a transition that you think works best and shows the relationship between those two ideas. Pause the video now. All right, this is one example, but I chose above all for emphasis. Babe Ruth was a great baseball player who excelled at both pitching and batting. Above all, he was remembered for his ability to slug big home runs out of the ballpark. You'll see this little crossover here next to emphasis. We want to emphasize, above all, he was remembered for his ability to slug big home runs out of the ballpark. Okay, your next example. German Shepherds can be good watchdogs. If you want to keep your home safe, a German Shepherd is a good breed to consider. So how are these two ideas related? What type of transition would you choose? Pause the video now, find a transition, and type it in. German Shepherds can be good watchdogs. In other words, so saying the same type of thing, if you want to keep your home safe, a German Shepherd is a good breed to consider. So it's kind of a restatement here. Our next example. When Bobby makes a sandwich, he likes to use every topping that we have in our refrigerator. Whether it is ketchup, mustard, mayonnaise, or jelly, there is nothing that he will refuse to put between the slices of bread. Bobby even said that he loves putting chocolate syrup on his sandwich. All his friends think Bobby's sandwiches are gross, but he still enjoys devouring his hearty hoagies. What relationship do those two things have? Go to your transition notes, pick an appropriate transition, and type it in now. Pause the video. Okay, so we want an addition relationship happening here. Furthermore, Bobby even said that he loves putting chocolate syrup on his sandwich, going even further into it. All his friends think Bobby's sandwiches are gross, but he still enjoys devouring his hearty hoagies. Okay, so we can create transitions within paragraphs. You want to create a purposeful relationship between those ideas. Now we're going to look at creating transitions among paragraphs. Individual sentences within a paragraph should be connected, and entire sections of the piece should also flow logically. So your sections are your paragraphs. You want to blend paragraphs with a smooth transition sentence. If you look at this yarn, the color change is very smooth throughout. It kind of reminds me of ombre, even though this is more of a rainbow thing. The first half of the transition sentence refers to the information in the previous paragraph. The second half of the same sentence introduces the next paragraph's main idea. Let's look at an example. My kitchen is not very trendy. It is filled with wicker baskets. My mom decorated with pink and blue hearts everywhere. The furniture and wallpaper is outdated and old-fashioned. We need a transition sentence to help the reader have a smooth transition from this idea to the next idea. Technology and electronic gadgets are throughout the living room. There's a huge flat screen TV mounted on the wall. My dad made sure to arrange the leather furniture so no matter where you sit, the surround sound is perfect. So what is the main idea of the first paragraph? It's talking about the kitchen is not trendy. Mom decorated it with pink and blue hearts. The furniture and wallpaper outdated. So we know the mom decorated the kitchen and it does not look good. Okay, we're not happy with it. The next paragraph talks about the technology and gadgets in the living room, all the things. Dad made sure to arrange leather furniture. So dad set up the living room. We need to decide what the strongest transition sentence is. So think about the main idea of mom decorating the kitchen. It's outdated. Dad is decorating the living room. It's very trendy. So my kitchen may be old-fashioned, but my living room is high-tech. My mom decorated the kitchen, but my dad decorated the living room. My friends would rather not hang out in the kitchen. They like the living room better. One walks through the kitchen to get to the living room. Which one is the strongest sentence? Okay, it is my mom decorated the kitchen, but my dad decorated the living room. Pause the video, read it to yourself, try all of them, see if it makes sense to you. Okay, here's the next one. Technology and electronic gadgets are throughout the living room. There's a huge flat screen TV mounted on the wall. My dad made sure to arrange the leather furniture so no matter where you sit, the surround sound is perfect. This is the same passage from the last slide. Now we're transitioning to this next one. My parents' bedroom has a TV, a small couch, and a bed. There's always a bunch of clean laundry and baskets in their room. It's hard to even find the bed sometimes because there are so many clothes everywhere. So think about the main idea of the first paragraph. What is the main idea of the next paragraph? So parents' bedroom, TV, small couch, a bed, a bunch of clean laundry and baskets. It's hard to find the bed sometimes because there are clothes everywhere. So the parents' bedroom is full of clothes. So we need to pick a transition sentence. Pause the video now and circle the strongest transition sentence. So if you think about the main idea of the living room and how great it is, and then the parents' bedroom with the clothes everywhere, the one that fits best is, I feel relaxed in the living room, but stressed in my parents' bedroom. Okay, now we're moving on. We still have the parents' bedroom and the clothes everywhere. Now we're going to transition to the laundry room has even more clothes. Clean clothes, dirty clothes, wet clothes, dry clothes. It's hard to even tell what's what. The washer and dryer seem to always be running, and yet I don't think my parents ever get all the laundry done. What in the world are we going to use to transition? Let's look at our choices. It's amazing how many clothes are in their bedroom when you see how many are in the laundry room too. Just off my parents' bedroom is the laundry room. There are clothes in my parents' bedroom and the adjacent laundry room. My parents may be able to relax in their bedroom, but nobody is able to relax in the laundry room. What do you think the best sentence is? Pause the video now and circle one. Okay, the strongest sentence would be, it's amazing how many clothes are in their bedroom when you see how many are in the laundry room too. That would make the most sense. So we created transitions within paragraphs. We created transitions among paragraphs. Now you need to go to Canvas and do the Purposeful Transition quiz. You need to add an appropriate transition to each pair of sentences or paragraphs. You may use your notebook.